it's not that you're lazy and not that you're unmotivated. It's just that you don't see that time for what it was. I'm talking about the time when you get a random pocket of time, like a little chunk of time, when maybe kids are playing quietly, the bus is late, or you're waiting in line, or something like that. And instead of doing something you've been meaning to do, something you've been meaning to read or check out, you scroll Instagram. Not pointing any fingers, but I know I've done it before. You check email or you read news, whatever. And here's the kicker. If you've ever told yourself that I just don't have time to do this or that, in our case, it's to learn a new language, this episode is going to completely change the way you see your schedule. So let's go into that. Hey there, and welcome back to the Foreign Language Roadmap podcast. And I'm your host, Elena Eber. And today, let's talk time management. That's one of my favorite topics. I also created a super useful worksheet that you can grab for free through the link in the description to this podcast. And if you want more help taking control of your time and organizing your life, not just the language learning part, but all of it, check out the full workbook, also available through the link below. So most of us have this mental script running in our heads that always says, I am so busy, I'm juggling this and that, my schedule is too packed, I can't take on anything new and all that. I can't even tell you how many times I heard this script coming out of everybody that I know. And because we've convinced ourselves of that, we stop even looking for time. When free time does appear, it catches us off guard and our brains grab whatever is easiest and most familiar. And usually that's some electronic hobbies, let's be honest. That's social media, that's YouTube videos, that's checking messages, emails, and not that these things are bad, they're not, but they're often unintentional. And because they are unintentional, they don't leave us feeling more fulfilled, more rested, or more accomplished. For language learning, this is huge because most people think that they need hours and hours of free time to learn a new language. And since they can't find hours, they do nothing at all. So here is where I want to make this first big shift. You can't find time for something if you don't know what you're looking for, right? So, it's logical. So the first thing you can do is to ask yourself, what do I want to spend more time on in my life? If you're listening to this podcast, I am guessing that one of the answers is that you want to learn a new language. But what I want you to get specific is it having a conversation with your neighbor without switching to English? Is it understanding a TV show without subtitles? Or is it maybe helping your kids with homework in your target language? If you're not sure what you want to do with your target language, you can try making a wish list. Look like the things that you want to do with it. Look at the moments when you feel frustrated or angry or upset because you couldn't express yourself or you couldn't do something because you lack the language skills of the specific language you're talking about. Or maybe even something excited when you understood something unexpectedly, something good happened and you want more of it. So you can even ask the silly question to yourself. If I had a free hour every day, how would I use it to improve my language skills? This step matters a lot because when you're clear on your goal, your brain starts noticing the opportunities that match it. Oftentimes, some people say it's the universe that brings you the opportunities, but I prefer to look at it from a more scientific point of view, and that brings me to the point of where I realize that it's us noticing and paying attention to the things like, you probably heard about this red car test kind of thing, is where if you just look outside randomly, you just see a bunch of different cars. But if you get an assignment to find all the red cars on the street or all the red things, you'll suddenly see so many of them, and that will be the only thing you see around you. You won't pay attention to any other colors, just to that one, because your brain tunes into that specific task that you set yourself up for. And that happens with pretty much everything in life. Once you start focusing on one or the other thing, that's all you start noticing, and all the opportunities and all the chances and everything that's happening around you starts to feel like it's just fallen in place for that specific goal that you set for yourself. And no matter how much we like to tell ourselves that we don't have the time, here's the harsh reality. Free time doesn't show up with a big sign saying, hey, this is your learning time now, this is your free time, do as you please with it. It's not like that, obviously. The time is there, but it hides in the cracks between the tasks, between all the juggling things that we have to do. It's in the kitchen while you're waiting for the water to boil, those 5 minutes that you have for whatever else you could do. On your commute, those 12-15 minutes on the train and the car can also be like an audio lesson instead of doom scrolling or reading the news. I mean, whatever matters most to you, obviously. Could be at the park while your kids are on, playing around. You could practice a vocabulary. You could do flashcards. You could read a short article. These little slices, they add up, but only if you recognize them. If you make an effort to see and recognize and notice them and grab them. One fun way to train yourself to see them is to start a hobby that you are really obsessed with, like reading a page-turner novel. You'll start noticing that you have the time. Like, hey, I can fit in a chapter here and there because I really, really want to, because it's something I really want to know what's happening. And that same awareness transferred to language learning. Noticing time is one thing, but protecting that time is a second question. If you've got kids, you've got family, you've got chores, maybe your hour is after bedtime. But here's the trap. If you don't set boundaries, that time disappears into other things, into chores, into Netflix, into whatever else happens. So you need to get strategic. You need to decide when you want to study the language, and set the time, put on a calendar. So if you were talking about bedtime, for example, if you have that hour at bedtime when you can dedicate to learning a language or reviewing or studying something, doing basically dedicating a specific time to something that matters. So to get strategic, you can first decide at what time you want to be asleep, and then set yourself, I wouldn't call it an alarm, but sort of a reminder for 45 minutes to an hour before that time, and treat that hour as a non-negotiable for that goal that you want to achieve. If you live with someone, you can trade pockets of time. Maybe you take the kids on Sunday morning, Saturday morning, Sunday morning, whatever works for you. And then your partner takes Sunday morning, the other day. You each get a guilt-free block of time to do something important, like in our case, focused language study. And here's a key point. Protecting this time means communicating it. People won't automatically respect your learning time unless you make it visible and you make it clear. And first of all, you need to start respecting it yourself. Only when you make sure that it's important to you and you're willing to put boundaries and respect them yourself, that's when other people are going to start respecting them as well. There are 168 hours in a week. If you set aside just 7 hours out of that 168 hours for yourself, that's 1 hour a day. And here's the truth. You might already be spending that hour a day on things that technically count as fun, as leisure, but they don't feel satisfying. If you swap that time for intentional, meaningful activity that you want to do, imagine it could be what you wanted to learn. Think about the progress that you could make in that hobby or in a language in just 1 year if you give yourself 5 to 7 hours a week to work on it. Let me share a few examples from people that I worked with. I had this client Maria, and of course, I use all of the stories and now personal details with the agreement of my clients. So anyway, she thought that she needed 45 minutes study sessions to make progress in French. So we started with just 5 minutes a day, vocabulary while making coffee, audio lessons while walking to work. And within weeks, she was at 20 minutes a day without even forcing it for herself and without even realizing that she was doing it. Another story, James is a busy dad who only had time in the car. So he turned his commute time into like a classroom, mobile classroom, by listening to conversations, dialogues, and phrases in his target language. And guess what? In 6 months, he was holding short conversations with locals with the confidence you wouldn't believe. Another one, Lena, she used her waiting time when she was at the doctor's office, in line, at the grocery store, and that was her thing. She did a lot of that, and that was her thing that she felt like that was a lot of waiting time. So she used that time to read simple news articles in Spanish. And those tiny bursts added up to hours every month. Like, it's crazy how this works when you start noticing those little opportunities in your day. I saw the pattern. Do you see the pattern how you didn't find big chunks of time? You build habits around the time that you already have. The biggest myth about language learning is that you need hours and hours, huge amounts of time to make progress. But it's not really always the case. You don't. You just need to decide what matters to you, learn to see your hidden free time, and protect and use it intentionally. And when you do, you'll stop telling yourself that you never have the time. You start saying that I make time for what matters. And if you don't make time, that maybe it doesn't matter enough for you, and that is totally okay as well. You just let go and let it be. Because the truth is, you probably have more time than you think. You just need to learn how to catch it and how to be intentional about it. This is going to be the wrap for this episode, and don't forget about the super useful worksheet that you can grab for free through the link in the description to this podcast. And if you want more help taking control of your time and organizing a bunch of different areas of your life, check out the full workbook that's also available through the link below. Thank you so much for being here. If you liked the episode, please subscribe, leave a comment, share maybe on your social media. I'd be very grateful so that more people can discover the stuff that I'm talking about, because I'm really passionate about it and I hope that it's helpful for a lot of people. So that's going to be the wrap for today, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.